Howdy folks, my name is Omkar Jagdai coming at you from Dallas, Texas, and today I'm gonna talk to you about credit cards, how to grow your score from almost 600s all the way up to 800, and why do you need credit cards, why do you need to play this silly American game of credit cards. So everything unfolded, but before that, if you haven't subscribed, what are you even doing? Do you even know me? Do you even like me? Are you even friends with me? What are you doing, man? So hit that subscribe button and let's get on to this journey. So let me take you back to 2015. Now I'm a student, I'm broke as a joke, and I have started using credit cards, but I don't know how to use them. My first credit card ever was from a Bank of America. I had like a $2,000 limit, and I'll be honest with you, I had maxed it out. I was very bad with my finances as a student. Let's be honest, you don't have much money as a student. Not to use that as an excuse, I was bad with my money, guys. I didn't know how to manage my money at that point of time. I would always, spend more than what I had. So long story short, I was bad with it. But here's what happened. So I get a credit card statement, and I basically have no money to pay even the minimum payments. Now I want to tell you one thing, never ever miss a minimum payment, because this is what happened. I didn't have money for about 2 to 3 months to even make the minimum payments, guys. That's like $25 a month. I didn't even had that. I ended up missing these minimum payments for 3 months in a row, and my credit score took a nosedive all the way from like 700s to 630, and now I'm sitting in 630s, which is, and I don't know what this means. Okay, I don't know what these scores mean, by the way. I just knew like 700 was good and 630 is not. Long story short, 2 years later, I'm still in 600s. Okay, nothing great has happened since then, except I got a job after graduation. I've been paying loans and stuff like that, but then still I have not understood the credit game. Now I need a car. In October of 2018, I need a car. So I go to a dealer and then I tell them that, hey, I can put maybe $5,000-$7,000, but then I need a loan. So they give me a $8,000 loan at 14% interest rate, and that is only because I didn't had a good credit score, guys. So if I had a score of like 700, 720, 730, I would have been able to get so much ahead. I would have gotten maybe like a 3 or a 4% interest on my car loan. I was a smart individual. What I did a 7-year payment. I got my monthly payment to about $200, and guess what? I paid all of that within 2 years. So I paid those $7,000 within 2 years. So I didn't end up paying a lot of interest over 5-6 years. So that's how a bad credit score can hurt you. But long story short, guys, over 2, 3, 4 years, I was able to build my credit, and literally today morning, I got a message that my score has hit 805, and here's a picture. How did I do that? To be honest, this was not a planned event. What I really started doing is over last 2-3 years, I applied for a lot of credit cards. So I went from like 2 credit cards up to 18 credit cards over last 4 years, guys. And my credit limit, from 2020 to 2024 went from $10,000 of credit limit to up to $105,000-$110,000 recently. So it's a huge credit limit, and so it's not going to be a game which you're gonna do it overnight. It's gonna take 1, 2, 3 years for you to get to that destination. But when you get there, hey, it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna be able to take loans at a very low interest rate. And guess what, guys? If you're able to get loans at like 3-4% interest rate, you can take that money, invest in like even S&P 500. To be honest, you're gonna get 10% on that. Big investments can happen if you have a low borrowing rate from the bank. Use bank's money to become wealthy in America. So I'm gonna talk to you about 4 things which you really need to do or don't do so that you never hurt your credit score. Number 1, always make your minimum payment. I don't care how broke you are. If you have to beg, borrow, steal, do what you need to so that you can pay your minimum payments, because making minimum payments tells to the credit card company, no matter how bad you have things going, you can always make the minimum payment. You're not going to default on your loan. You are a safe candidate. Missing minimum payment is the worst thing you can do in your credit. Number 2, never use more than 2 to 3% of your credit limit. For example, if your credit limit is $10,000, you're gonna use only 2 to 3%, which is 200 to 300. Now you may be saying, what are you talking about, Omkar? That's so stupid. No, what I mean by that, guys, if your credit limit is $10,000, you can spend up to $5,000, but before your closing date, you wanna make sure you pay off almost 98% of all of that money, because after that closing date, you are getting charged 2% interest rate per month, which is about 28% a year. So that means if you use $5,000, 2% in a month, that is $100 of interest you're just going to pay. Not only that, now what your credit card is showing is that your limit is $10,000 and you've used 50% of it. So that way you're telling to the credit card system that you may not be good with your money. You're using a lot of debt. So that's why you want to make sure you're paying 99% of that money before closing date. Remember, closing date, not the statement date. Statement date is when you need to pay it. Closing date is the more important one. And in the end, guys, I want to talk to you about what having a good credit will do to you. First of all, you're gonna have a high confidence. When you're just walking down the street, you're gonna have confidence about you that you know who you are financially responsible, you know how to play the game, and you know how to win the game. Because you didn't come to America to stay in 700s, you came here to win, be in the 800s, so that later on, we're gonna use this money. When you're taking a loan on your car, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you wanna buy that Mercedes, you don't have to pay $50,000 cash. You can put that $50,000 in an S&P 500, get 10% returns, and drive that Mercedes off the lot for 3% per annum interest rates. So you're saving a lot of money in the future. So the actions you take today is helping the future you. It's a gift. So you are giving a gift to your future self. Number 2, when you're buying houses, guys, you need to have a good credit score. If you don't have a good credit score, you're not going to get a good interest rate on your house. Imagine you are buying a $500,000 house 5 years, 10 years down the road, and your interest rate is 5% instead of 4%. Now understand, 4% of $500,000 per year is $20,000. That means you're paying $20,000 on interest, whereas 5% of 500,000 is 25,000. That means you're losing $5,000 a year. That's $600 a month you're losing because you didn't take care of your credit score, guys. So it's very vital that you have good credit score over a long period of time. At the end of the day, guys, I look at it as a game. Credit score, credit system is a game which America has built, and you are playing it. Now, if we're gonna play this, why don't we learn the rules and play it and win it? I don't want you to play just to get by. I want you to make sure you play to win. And that's all I had today. I love talking to you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Go 800.